They don't tell you how quiet it gets when the capital evaporates and the people you relied on walk away. You are left sitting in the silence of a stripped-down reality, absolute zero. When your world collapses, the instinct is to point outward. It is comforting to blame the chaotic economic climate or the betrayals of others, because if the cause is external, the failure isn't your fault. The traditional response to this darkness is to try and survive through sheer, unoptimized physical effort. You grind your body into dust, hoping that doubling your manual labor will fix a structural collapse. But the grind is an outdated metric. The moment you point a finger outside of yourself, you hand over your power and become a passenger in a vehicle driven by circumstance. True autonomy begins with the Serenity Framework. You cannot change global inflation, but you can control your execution and your systems. By taking absolute ownership of your coordinates, you grab the steering wheel. This total responsibility is the actual mechanism of free will. Before building a single system, an architect must discard the collective hallucination of scarcity. Most people operate as if opportunities are a finite bucket of water they must guard with their lives. Look at the central banks. They print currency with a keystroke every single day. Money is infinite liquid energy. It flows toward high-value structures and drains away from low-value ones. If you build the right magnet, the flow changes direction. Most people try to catch this flow by trading their time for a salary. By signing up for an hourly rate, they mathematically cap their potential at 24 hours a day. It is a structural dead end. Value is independent of the clock. A single concentrated insight delivered in 5 minutes can yield millions, while a month of uninspired labor can be worthless to the market. To build an undeniable ecosystem, you must leave the role of the manual service provider behind. You must become the architect who designs the structure that processes value. Efficiency means using leverage instead of grinding your gears to dust. You shift from being the engine of the business to the engineer sitting at the control console. You build your machine using an automated assembly line. At the strategy stage, you use Claude and ChatGPT to stress test your business logic and process thousands of data points before you ever open a spreadsheet. For the visual identity, tools like Leonardo.ai and Canva allow you to bypass expensive agencies. You generate cinematic conceptual art and design professional pitch decks in minutes, achieving total creative speed. At the distribution node, Perplexity AI scans the live web for raw facts. It tracks moving logistics regulations and consumer trends, cutting the noise of standard search engines out of your research. Physical logistics must be treated as a cold, automated dispatch logic grid. By using location clustering and automated intake, you neutralize potential points of human failure before the key ever turns in the ignition. Stacking these tools replaces weeks of manual coordination with a single automated workflow. By offloading the cognitive repetition to the machine, you preserve your energy for high-level strategy and mapping the next frontier. You must protect this machine from people who leak operational energy. You cannot scale a big idea if your circle is full of vampires. There is a brutal difference between friends and allies. Friends prioritize comfort and tell you what you want to hear. Allies hold you to a standard of excellence because the success of the objective depends on it. Cutting off the people who bring drama or doubt is a mandatory survival tactic. A massive movement relies on a circle united by execution, not just proximity. This synthesis of mind and machine manifests in the physical world through the live execution of our projects in Logos. At Za Ali Errands, our logistics grid eliminates human friction. Requests are parsed instantly, and bikes stay in assigned zones to maximize margin and fuel efficiency, even when the city is screaming in chaos. Sneakerfest 2026 follows the same logic. It is a highly curated ecosystem where vendor onboarding and logistics run on automated sequences. We engineered a cultural monument where the operational friction is zero. Every operational failure and blown budget from 2023 was just data. It pointed out exactly where the infrastructure was weak so we could build something unbreakable. You use that data to weld the gaps shut. You transmute the pressure of the environment into the fuel for your absolute autonomy. The total assumption of responsibility for your outcomes is a heavy burden, but it is the only weight worth carrying. When you master the code and automate the machinery, you are no longer just surviving Legos, you are rewriting it.